It's a good AGam in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. First, Dr. Chris Blevins and Pattie Stalder are at this year's Horse Care 101 event. Then Susan Metzger updates us on water conservation efforts in Kansas while at the Governor's Conference for the Future of Water in Kansas. Next, Dan Devlin discusses the K-State Extension Watershed Specialist Program. And we hear from Ignacio Ciampitti about the upcoming Soybean Schools. We'll end with a story from a cattle producer who focused on quality, then quantity to build his herd. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. Today, joined by the Director of the Kansas Horse Council, Pattie Stalder.
Hi, Chris.
Well, we are just wrapping up with an exciting Horse Care 101 here in November. And wow, what a great turnout. Had a lot of people here. How many people do you think were here at the Horse Care 101 this year?
Just a little over 200 and a lot of kids.
Yeah, I was amazed just the amount of adults, but the amount of kids who were here. Mm-hmm. And what did we have this year for the kids that drew them in?
You know, we had over 70 kids registered, and some of those students, I should say, not just kids, but students, and some of those are college level. But the younger ones from about 8 to probably 12 or 13, I think, they spent the whole afternoon over in Weber Arena with the K-State Horsemen's Association doing lots of fun things. I'm not sure what all they had them doing, but I think from seeing them before and after, those kids with the Horsemen's Association had their hands full.
What do you think about the morning session and kind of what went on with that and who did that?
Well, you know, we had Casey Wynn this morning with our live demo, and it's the first time we've had a live horse demo. I mean, we've had live horses here on I-70, obviously, but a training demo. And I think it went really well. Weber worked really well for us for the change, and with the weather being 67 degrees today, we had a nice little short hike from Weber over here. It went smooth as silk. And from the comments I've overheard, everybody's had a great day.
Then the afternoon, I guess kind of give a rendition of what kind of went on in the afternoon of the same day here. We had Casey in the morning, and then what did we do in the afternoon?
Well, when we came back over here to Frick Auditorium, and Dr. Liz Sanchi did a presentation on lameness and radiographs. And then we had a really good panel discussion. We had 5 ladies that spoke representing the North American Trail Riding Conference, the Pony Club of the United States. We had Kansas Hunter Jumper and the U.S. Eventing Association represented. And we had fox hunting here in Kansas, which I think surprised a lot of people in our audience. And then we also had Ashley Duda, who is the coach for the K-State Intercollegiate Horse Show Association, right. IHSA.
Yeah, I think it seemed like it was a pretty great day for everybody to learn about horses.
And it's our 4th year to do it. And you know, you've been involved since the very beginning. And it's so nice to have people say, no, I've been here every year, I wouldn't miss it. And now I'm seeing more and more people come back and familiar faces and really feel good about what we put together here.
Speaking of not being the same, what do we got that's exciting news for next year, 2016?
Well, Dr. Temple Grandin will be here next year, which is fabulous. She's from Colorado State University. And because to accommodate her schedule, we will be changing the date for next year, and it's going to be on Saturday, December 3rd.
Other things to do other than just Temple Grandin, so wow, a jam-packed day,
yes.
Even just with Temple starting us. So beware of that. You'll be able to find more information on the website for Kansas Horse Council. And if you have any questions or anything, just go to that website.
Right.
And what's the website?
KansasHorseCouncil.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Pattie.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, that's it for Horsing Around here at Horse Care 101. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins with the Veterinary Health Center, and we'll see you around.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn. For livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com. Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Watch AGam in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. AGam in Kansas brought to you in part by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
I'm Susan Metzger. I'm an assistant secretary with the Kansas Department of Agriculture, and I'm here today at the 4th Annual Governor's Conference for the Future of Water in Kansas. And this morning's session was an exciting opportunity to unveil the first year of implementation of our vision for the future of water in this state. And we announced really exciting things about the first water conservation area in Sherman County. We awarded the first Legacy Award for the original groundwater management district manager in GMD4. We announced a new CREP program to help tackle nutrient impairments in our reservoirs and a number of other activities that are real successes for our first year of implementation. So one of the most exciting outcomes of the last legislative session was an action item in the vision that called for a locally developed water conservation plan that was a plan that a producer or water right owner could bring directly to the chief engineer, and in that describe the types of conservation measures that they would implement on their own properties, and with that would be afforded certain flexibilities. So we had our first one awarded this week, was signed for Sherman County. It's the Franklin family. They're in GMD4, and they're committing to the next 15 years of aggressively implementing conservation practices on their operations, and as part of that are going to have some flexibilities that aren't available to those outside of a WCA, such as being able to pool their water rights and use them as one allocation rather than separate. Another exciting announcement is that tomorrow we will be breaking ground on the disposal facilities for the first of its kind in the nation dredging project at John Redmond Reservoir. And this is really important because it's the first time that we're using state and non-federal dollars to remove sediment from that facility. We're going to be removing 3 million cubic yards of sediment. And in doing that, and in this first phase, we'll be able to restore about 1,800 acre feet of storage. So one of the things that we heard as we traveled around the state as a key for being able and being successful for long-term water conservation is the adoption of technology on farms. And so here today we get to see firsthand some of those technologies, and they include what's known as a dragon line, which is basically combining subsurface drip irrigation with drop nozzle irrigation. So you have really fine application of water on the field, and also combining that with soil moisture probes so that you can really evaluate the amount of water that you're putting on and measuring whether or not more application is needed. So this was just year one, and while we have a lot of successes to celebrate 80% accomplishment of completing or implementing our phase 1 action items, we know that there's 20% unmet, and that just because we started those 80%, there's still a long way to go. So in the coming years, we want to make sure that we're seeing more water conservation areas adopted, that we want to adopt rules and regulations and penalty matrices that help to encourage and sustain that conservation attitude going into the future. And we're also then, a thing that we really need to focus on in the next few years is bringing our lessons learned to our neighboring states of Oklahoma, Colorado, and Missouri, bringing those states in with us and talking about a more collaborative approach to our water management throughout the region.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm Dan Devlin, Kansas State University, and I serve as the director of the Kansas Center for Agricultural Resources and the Environment. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about the K-State Extension Watershed Specialist Program. It really started about 10 or 12 years ago in response to Kansas setting the total maximum daily loads. And there was concern about we really need to focus resources and help our, particularly our rural and farm citizens, help them implement best management practices to help conserve soil and reduce their reduce their impact on water quality. And so it started then, and we had some, and so someone in a meeting made a suggestion, what we really need is education and some technical assistance. And at the time it was said, you know, K-State Extension would be a good place to house that program. And so from there, we had a number of ag groups as well as the state, and then EPA 319 put some funds together and K-State to hire a series of specialists that would be trained on water quality and help farmers implement practices to reduce their impacts on water quality. And so it's went from there. And the first few years, we spent a lot of time on education, on really understanding the water quality issues. Probably did that for about the first 3 years, and now about the last 10 years, we've really spent our time on helping watersheds develop their watershed restoration protection strategies and then implement that. So since that time, they've put in, we've helped virtually hundreds of farmers implement their water quality plans. Almost, I think every one of the practices we've worked with our farmers have really all been voluntary. Some of them had some concerns with livestock, some of it was cropland, but in general, we work with individuals that want to voluntarily improve water quality, and it's been a really great success.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it, and it worked. And I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities. And it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to AGam in Kansas. Last week we were talking about corn schools. This week we want to focus in trying to communicate what are the next schools coming on this winter crop school program. Next schools, are the soybean schools. So, soybean schools, we will be planning in the last week of January, and then basically we will be focusing on several different topics. One of the things that we are changing a little bit this year is that we will try to be more specific in topics, and the presentations will be a little bit more short. So with the idea of trying to provide more content and information to farmers. So when you are coming, these schools will be one stop, and you will get information from insect disease, weed control, production practices. And also we are implementing some new topics that I think that will be very attractive for farmers, topics related to precision ag or big data. So I think that it will be, after we take a look to the program, I think that we have a very strong program for the next coming 2016. Soybean schools, very attractive. So we are making sure that the farmers can get new information from us, and information that is very critical for improving those soybean systems across the state. Most of the schools will start around 9 o'clock in the morning. We will try to finish around 2:30. One of the things that will be an ending of the program is that we will have in all the schools a farmer panel, with the idea really of this is our time to increase our discussion, make sure that we express ideas, and the interaction with farmers that we had last year on the farmer panel was really good, and it was probably one of the sections of the schools that we really enjoy, and we get very good feedback and very good comments on that specific section of the schools. Soybean schools, last week of January, first school is on Monday, January 25th, and the first school is focused on in the Great Bend area. And this school is trying to target the central and the western a little bit side of the state. And why we are moving to this location is because we are seeing some big demand on soybeans that are moving into this area. So we are seeing that this will be critical for us to make sure that we emphasize what production practices are working in that area and how we can help farmers to increase or maximize productivity and also increase the profits on those areas. From there, we are moving on the Tuesday to the other side, to the east central location, Overbrook. And in that facility, on Tuesday, January 26th on Overbrook, we will be covering specific topics that are more related to the east central location. We'll have some presentations on even economics and insects, and also even how to, we are delivering the extension information. We will have people presenting about a new website, My Fields, with Dr. Brian McCornack. We'll have specific topics about, increasing, intensifying soybean production, and also on-farm research on soybean, narrowing row spacing. We have a lot of questions about this past year, how we are improving soybean yields, and really what practices are really impacting on our soybean systems. Following school, it will be on Thursday, so we are skipping Wednesday in that week. And Thursday school is on January 28th and is Beloit. So that school is covering more our north central and a little bit western side of the state. And the idea is the same, very similar. We also have very specific target topics. We'll be talking about double crop soybeans also in that area. We'll be talking about big data. We'll be talking about some of the precision ag ideas and practices that we are implementing on soybeans. And then the last day, on the week, on Friday, we are moving to Marysville. So the school will be Friday, January 29th, and it will be located in Marysville. The idea of this school is to really make sure that we are targeting the north section of the state and more the northeastern section of part of the state. In that area, we have very highly aggressive farmers, very productive, but we are always looking to see how we can increase those yields. how we can really sustain those, but not only sustain those, but make sure that we can improve the yields. So we'll be talking about precision ag tools to increase those yields. We'll be talking about intensifying management practices. We'll be talking about how we can become much better in the weed control side. So very diversified topics specific for each school. So stay tuned with more information coming on the e-updates. Remember, check all the information about Soybean Schools and all our winter crop schools in www.agronomy.ksu.edu. On the right side, you have a tab called e-updates. So make sure to click there and check every Friday afternoon we release those e-updates, and we can provide more information about all the crop and winter schools coming in your state in Kansas.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop liquid crop nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
AGam in Kansas is brought to you in part by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
When Kip Sparrow returned to his family farming and ranching operation near Mercer, North Dakota, he knew he needed to find his niche.
So there was a lot less risk to being a rancher than there was with the farming end of it, and we do our fair share of farming. But we felt that by growing the herd numbers-wise, we could do a better job of protecting ourselves from a financial standpoint. So as those numbers increased and we felt that and saw that, yeah, we were maybe getting some added protection with the ebbs and flows of all the markets, all the commodities, we expanded a little further and a little further.
The first push was building quantity. Next, he worked on quality.
We've taken a lot of time over the last 5 years to put better genetics in through AI breeding, and along with using high quality cleanup bulls, better bulls has made a better animal on both sides, through the steers and the heifers. It's definitely showing.
Sparrow has sold commercial females in a special sale for the last several years. The market tells him he's doing something right.
And as we AI bred on top of animals that were AI bred, you really started to see a commercial herd take shape that was much higher quality than anything that any of us that were working here had been used to seeing. So it really opened our eyes on what we could do as far as carving that niche out, and I think as we go forward, there's still a lot of improvements that could be made even for what we're doing. So hopefully, if we keep along this path, we'll be able to see even more improvements within these animals and what they're producing.
This year, the cattleman sold his steers direct with ideas of getting more performance and quality data to keep improving. I'm Bob Surveyor.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. To see this show and past episodes of AGam in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.